All right, so we're going to jump into AJ Hilliard's um, 400-meter practice lap. Now, he's not running against anybody. It's extremely difficult to run by yourself and to run a quick pace. But he is keeping in time with the way he typically runs his 400. And if you notice, when he came around that bend, he was about at 14, 15 seconds. This all has to do with his start. So we're going to watch this and we're going to go through the whole process of checking it out. As a matter of fact, I'll extend this down to make that bigger because I want you to see. Look at his arms. His wrist is tucking backwards on one arm. The other arm is kind of moving in different patterns. He doesn't have any consistency with his arm swing. His leg drive is solid for a guy as tall as he is. He's about 6'3", 6'4". So I'm going to pause that and I'm going to go back to the beginning of that race because you need to see his start. And now he's using a 3-point stance, which we only started working on this week. Now, with his high school program, he didn't use blocks the entire year, the entire season. So here we are in AAU season in the summer, and I have to go through the process of teaching him how to use the blocks. If you're not using blocks in a race and other guys are using blocks and they've been trained to utilize them, you're going to be immediately 3 seconds behind. I would literally say 3 to 4 seconds behind at the start of the race, which means you're already fighting from the back. So if we're looking at this, right, we're looking at it and we're saying, how is he starting? What you'll see, he's too tall in this position and there's no power coming out of the block. Also, if you have a 400 or a 200 runner, they can use the first 10 meters of the race to run straight, which means they can have a true drive phase coming out in the 400. He's not utilizing any of this. So he's immediately 3 seconds behind any true 400-meter runner. So let's flip over and we're going to look at the Brooks Invitational High School. These are high school guys. And we're going to go back here real quick. We're going to push play. And we're looking at that, and that's 3 seconds. Okay? Now, 3 seconds into this race, let's see if we can make this happen.
Test even the best here in Renton. Boys 400.
3 seconds into this race, these guys are already around the curve. So if we're looking at AJ, he's basically right here. If we go back to that first guy, he's in a similar position, but not really. I take that back. He's not even in a similar position because he's starting back here. So let me go back to the start. This is where that first lane is. This is where he is out on this race. We come back over here. This is the start for him. He's barely 10 meters in. This kid is almost 30 meters into his race. He's 10, 20 meters into his race at 3 seconds. So we go 3 seconds. Good straight back on this kid, though. Good straight back on this kid. And let's see how he comes up. Perfect. Perfect. Now that's 1, 2, 3. He's 20 meters into the race. At 4.3, he's already heading into 30 meters. With AJ, AJ's not there. So we go through that entire race with AJ and we're like, okay, where can we trim off time? The first place where he can trim off time is going to be in those first 10 meters and a much better start. So even in his straight, not even in straight, right now we're going around the curve. So let's go to the curve. Now we're coming out of the curve, and right here we're hitting the next 100 meters. So we count these 100 meters. We're looking at 15, 20 or so. And this looks like a really good pace that he has right here. But we're already 10 seconds. He's not close to the end of that first one. He's at a 15 second, well, it's probably about a 14 second, 15 second 100 meters in that second 100. He's got to be around 13. Now, I'm going to go back here so you guys can see this.
Inside Santiago, Dietz, Summers, Bello, Kendrick, Hudson, Jake.
And we're going to go with the guy in the first lane who's coming around right about now. They're not showing him, but more than likely he's getting ready to hit this 100 here. So we're at 338. So they should pull out. Oh, that kid hurt himself back there, hamstring pull. So we're looking at this kid is 338, and that's the 338. He's at almost an 11-second 100-meter. He's running at a pace that is going to put him in the 44 to 47 range for the 400, and that's really good. But we'll come back to AJ, and we'll look at AJ's curve, and he's not running as hard as he can. So if he's running harder, he's doing okay. But look at his hand. If you see his hand is curled, we're going to come back over and we're going to look at these 400-meter runners just to get a look at them coming through. And you see strong arm swings. There's no floppiness in the wrist. These are things when an athlete has arms that are moving over and out in a lot of different ways, they're losing time. So if we look at his start, he loses 3 seconds on his start. If we look at his run, because his arm swing isn't tight. But we have to remember, AJ is a first year track and field athlete. It's his first year. His best time is right at 55:56. It's not bad for a first year athlete who's never run before. His mechanics are bad because during his high school season, they didn't work on the technical aspects of running the sprints. So we're trying to fix something in the summer before he goes off to college and potentially runs at a college. And it's going to take a lot of work, but he's going to have to be willing to put in that work. But let's go ahead and finish the race again and wrap this video up. Look at the arm swing, and you see the arm swing. And obviously, we're at a point where it's just not working as well as we would like. He's got a good lane. He's got a great stride. He's not running outright. Because if we get here, he's not even bending over and tired. At the end of a 400, you're completely gassed. So if we watch these guys finish up their 400, I hope it's not choppy because I'm using OSB to record my desktop. I hope it's not choppy. I can't see it until we're done. But you can see that these guys are gassed. They're gassed. All right, it's an extremely difficult race. Extremely difficult race. AJ has a lot of time that he could pick up with better running form and a better block start. Even in that 3-point start, a better start. But that's it. Going to wrap that up.